Good morning, everyone. I want to do this real quick because I've got other things that I gotta get busy on. So this is just going to be a real quick video. I'm not going to try to go into very many details, but what I do want to make 3 points very clear because they apparently came across as clear as mud yesterday. The first one is about the consequences of certain speech or whatever. Consequences could come from companies and or the educational institutions that have a social media clause within the contracts. And if you're associated with a certain company, a certain educational you know, institution or a college or a school or a district or something, there's a social media clause. If the speech that you're putting out is against what that company or whatever stands for, then yeah, there's going to be consequences. The consequences come not only from the companies and that, but you've also got the consequences of the general court of public opinion. But none of it, as far as I know, is from the government. None. The second thing is that apparently Kimmel got removed from ABC. ABC is owned by Disney. Disney is owned by shareholders. If you're on the air, then there's, guidelines and boundaries and what have you. It's not the government. As far as I know, I mean, if somebody can come across something and prove me wrong, then prove me wrong. And I'm open to being proved wrong. Look, I'm not an articulate type person. I try to be. Apparently, a lot of what I try to convey comes across as clear as mud, and then I have to break it down even further and even further and even further, which I guess is fine. But so there's those 2 points. The last point is that a lot of what we say and a lot of what we do is open for interpretation. And this is part of communication. Even when it's, like one-on-one. I say something to somebody else. They interpret that and then they go with it. Or you can come back and say, all right, so this is what you said. This is how I understood it. Did I interpret that in the way you meant? And I sure hope all this makes sense. If not, then that's fine. But yeah, so I've got other things I got to get to real quick. And so I'll put up another video later on in the day. And so, I'm open for conversation. I'm open for, if you find proof of, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever, then let's go for it. One other thing real quick. I've always been a vocal person about the rights and the responsibilities that we have in this country. Of course, a lot of that has always been, like one-on-one or in a small setting, in-person group or, something like that. I was asked yesterday, why am I starting to do these videos? And that's a good question. And, there's been a stirring within my soul for quite some time. And I guess, it's a combination of, I finally just, kind of got this little thing from God, plus, I mean, hey, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I have my trust in Jesus Christ. I am saved. I read the Bible, and I've read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation numerous times, and I know what it says. Sometimes I'll have to go back and double check it, but there you go on that part. So I guess the reason I'm starting to do these videos is because I'm it's just something that God's set in my soul, and I finally talked myself into really not just keeping it one-on-one or in a group in-person setting, but putting it out there for the whole world to see. So there you go. There will be more to come later on in the day. And until then, y'all have a great day.